Hello, Florida investor here. I wanted to show you guys in today's video what has been happening with Tesla and also Apple. As you guys can see, Tesla is up almost 5%. Just basically after market open, it just basically shoot up. Tesla is one of those stocks that has a huge. It's one of the most traded stocks actually in the market, and basically also you see here on the couple articles, Life One surpasses milestone of 700,000 plus Tesla users, basically beating earnings, delivery of cars, etc. Another good news that Tesla has going for itself is also the robo-taxi. They are really heavily involved into the robo-taxi. So in other words, taxis that are automatic. And that's something that Tesla is one of the main players in that field. That's why you see Tesla in general. In top of that, whenever a stock you see that it has a big sell-off, I mean, obviously, especially if it's a solid company, it's gonna have a massive run-up as well. It may take a little bit of time, but it happens. Now with Tesla is a different animal. You know, Tesla is something that it drops a lot today and tomorrow it takes off and it basically recoups whatever it lost, and that's what you guys are seeing here basically with Tesla. Now the other stock that I wanted to talk about, actually it was UPS. They basically are trying to stop getting so much business, I guess if you want to call it, from Amazon. And basically the reason for that is they want to become a little bit more independent from Amazon, since apparently let's put it this way, apparently they're not making enough money to justify delivering so many packages for Amazon. So they just basically want to independencize themselves more from Amazon and do their own thing. And that's part of the reason why, if we look in the last week, UPS had this drop off, as you guys can see. Now Apple, I wanted to talk about Apple as well. So Apple, same thing. Now Apple actually had a big spike yesterday and after hours, and that's because they released earnings. They beat earnings, but it wasn't by a whole lot, honestly. Let's say plus or minus $50 million. So it's not like they really blew it out of the water, but investors still saw that as a big accomplishment, and which to me honestly doesn't make any sense. I've seen companies like Nvidia, to put you an example. Nvidia release earnings, they basically either miss it by a little bit or just meet it, and basically the stock just takes a massive dump the next, after hours and into the next day. So it doesn't really make any sense how some companies, some stocks do well, even with the little bit of news, and then some other ones just completely fall off the sky whenever some small news come out. So it really depends. But Apple was one of those. It really took off. I believe it was at one point about $9 or $10 up after hours, and as you guys can see, it kind of recorrected itself. I mean, we're talking about it peaked at roughly 248, and look what it is right now. So it dropped off about $9. So in other words, whatever it made yesterday after hours, it basically just completely shut it off today. But again, this is one of the things that I wanted to point to you guys, because if you're on the right side of the trade, obviously you guys can make a lot of money. I personally lost a bit of money on this play. I saw some articles that they were kind of bearish on Apple. I took a gamble. I bought a contract that expired next week, put contract. And again, it wasn't a whole lot. I mean, I think it was like $500 or something like that. So I lost like half. I knew that it was potentially could happen, because that's one of the things about playing earnings. It's a gamble. You can have, like I did mention before, I have done the same thing with other companies, and I've been on the right side of the trade, but most often than not, I've been in the wrong side of the trade. So in other words, because it's such a gamble, I'll give you an example with NVIDIA. Last time they released earnings, I thought they were going to blow it out of the water, especially with the AI demand and the graphics cards demand, etc., all the partnerships. And I ended up actually in the stock market didn't like it, even though they beat earnings. They thought they were going to do a lot better, apparently. And the stock just took a dump. So obviously, if you don't have enough time in the contracts, you are going to obviously lose big time. And that's what happened to me. Also with Apple, I lost about half of the money, like about $250. Again, not a huge amount, but half of the money nevertheless. And yeah, I knew that it could happen. I was waiting for it to dump instead, but it didn't. But I want to point just a couple stocks here for you guys to keep on your radar. My biggest play right now is UPS. UPS, after it sold off big time, I bought some calls. If I go here, you guys can see I'm up only $85, but this is just a starting point. So I have 8 contracts. So I have about almost $9,000 invested in UPS. And from where it fell off the cliff, see here, I mean, 135, peaked at 138, now it's at 114. So obviously has a good amount of room to grow, and that's what I'm waiting for. So it is a long play. This is actually Leaps. So you guys can see, expires in January of 2026. So I got plenty of time. And so I'm not worried about it. You know, a $10-15 move, that's what I'm waiting for. And hopefully making like a few $1,000. That's what I'm hoping for with UPS. It's a solid company. And again, if they're losing money with the whole Amazon thing, it only makes sense for them to cut the partnership or reduce it, and then allocate those funds somewhere else to keep growing the business. But I'll be honest, I mean, I don't see a world without UPS or FedEx, Amazon, the post office. So obviously somebody needs to deliver the packages, and that's something that UPS has been doing for a long time, and I'm not worried at all. That happens. Sometimes companies do want to restructure, refocus their efforts, and that's exactly what UPS is doing. So not concerned at all. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for taking your time to see this video. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and we'll continue to make videos and bringing stocks to your attention. And as a reminder, this is not financial advice. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.